Uh, Hello guys, welcome back to another episode of Silent Fashion. My name is Oderin de Kabirat. Today I'm going to be teaching you how I made this beautiful Bubu dress. If you want to know how I made this, just sit back and watch. So without further ado, let's dive right into the video. So we'll be using 3 yards of this fabric. So first of all, what you need to do is fold your fabric into two like so. Then you go ahead to fold it again like so. Now we are going to go ahead to draft our fabric. So these are the measurements we'll be needing to draft our Bubu dress. We need our bust, waist, hips, and dress length. So the circumference of our bust is 34 divided by 4, 8.25 plus 1.75, that gives us 10 inches. For the waist, 29 divided by 4, 7.25 plus 2.75 gave me 10 inches. And also for the hips, 46 divided by 4 is equal to 0.75 plus 0.5 inches, which gave us 12 inches. And our dress length is 56.5 inches. So first of all, what you need to determine is the sleeve length. So how you're going to take this measurement is you're going to place your tape from the middle point of your back down over your shoulder to your wrist. So that's how you're going to take the measurement. So for me it's 30 inches. So I'll be using 30 inches. So now I'm going to determine my neckline. So I'm going to be using 7 inches for the width and 4 inches for the length. Then I'm just going to go ahead to use my curve to give it shape I want. It all depends on you. The next thing is I'm going to be determining my armhole measurement. So for my armhole, I'm going to be using 9. It all depends on you. You can decide to use 8.5 inches or 8 inches if you're not really a fat person. So I'm trying to make my chalk very visible because it's not very visible. So on that line, I'm going to go ahead to mark my bust measurement, which is 10. On that 9 inches line I marked, I'm going to mark my 10 inches for the bust. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to determine my shoulder to hips measurement, and for this person is 25 inches. So on the 25 inches line, I'm going to go ahead to mark our 12 inches, which is our hips circumference measurements. I'm not marking the waist measurement because the waist and bust, they are both 10 inches, so there's no point marking that since it's still 10 inches. So I'm just going to connect from the bust down to the hips. So the next thing I'm going to do is whatever I have on my hips measurement, which is 12, I'm also going to take it on the hemming line. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to be connecting my line. So I'm connecting from my bust line down to my hips line. So don't forget, your sewing is starting from the 9 inches we marked from the armhole. We'll start our sewing from the 9 inches we marked from the armhole. So from the hips line, I'm just going to connect it down to the hemming line like so. So the next thing I did was I flipped my fabric to the other side, so I'll be able to take the same marking I took earlier. So 9 inches for the armhole. Don't forget, we are using 9 inches, so our sewing is starting from that 9 inches. On that line, I'm just going to go ahead to mark the 10 inches for the bust measurements. Then our shoulder to hips, which is 25 inches. So on the 25 inches, I'm going to go ahead to mark our 12 inches, which is the circumference of our hips. Also on the hemming line, I'm going to mark 12 inches also. Then I'm going to go ahead to connect it from the bust to the hips I'm trying to make it visible. Then connect from the hips to the hemming line, from the hips to the hemming line, like so. So your sewing is starting from this 9 inches down to the hemming line. I connected from the bust to the hips, from the hips to the hemming line. I didn't take any waist measurement because our bust and our waist is the same. So we are just going to go ahead to cut. Don't forget, we took 4 inches for the length and 7 inches for the width. Cut like so. So all we need to do is cut out our neckline, then sew on this line. So we are going to take our fabrics to our machine. So we are going to go ahead to finish up the neckline and the sides, also the lower parts of the dress. I cut out a strip from the fabric to finish up the neckline. Also, you can use a bias strip to finish up your neckline. So now that we are done sewing up, then finishing the neckline and the sides, we are going to sew the inner line we marked on both sides. So after sewing that, our Bubu is ready. As you can see, it's so beautiful. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to subscribe, drop a comment, share with your friends and anyone interested in fashion designing. So, and also hit the notification bell also. So see you in my next video. Bye.